Good day, friends. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm Franky. This is Mekci.
Hi, guys. Good to see you. Good to talk.
Welcome to the Think Tank.
Hello.
So, Mekci, Moscow, Idaho still. Hi there, James.
Yeah, this one's a doozy. There's like a lot of things going on. What's a high-profile case, I suppose?
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, Dandy.
Do you take any, what do you think about this other guy people have been mentioning?
Which other guy?
I think he was a Marine, or he was just like an ex-military guy. I think he might have been the guy from Pullman that got swatted.
Oh, do tell.
Well, I don't know. I haven't read anything on it. I've just seen some headlines saying that he was the one, and I don't know. It's just some conspiracy thing.
Okay.
But if news places are putting it out, then obviously.
Hey, Blifton.
Blifton, hi.
So, what, this is supposed to be a possible accomplice?
They're throwing him in there. I'm not sure if it's connected. I haven't read anything up on it. I've just seen articles like trying to put it in there, I guess, should I say.
Okay. So what do you
think?
Are you thinking maybe this is like the defense out there throwing crap around?
I mean, that would be like a good strategy. Like as a defense team, that's what you want to do, is just put somebody else there.
Right?
Have some explanation. That's all you have to do.
Yeah. Confuse the situation in
their favor. Yeah, absolutely.
So there was also like that accident. Somebody got.
Yeah, you mentioned that. You said that was before he would have taken off, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Just before there was supposedly an accident right there, and a hit. I don't know if it was a hit and run, but it was a pedestrian accident.
And 2 people ended up in the hospital?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
It was like a pretty big scene then, right? Like it took a minute to clear and process.
Yeah. So it makes you wonder if that was part of the reason that his trip back was a little sketchy, and his leaving time possibly could have gone around that.
Yeah.
I mean, unless he didn't plan on doing this that particular evening.
Yeah,
so what do you
like a few of the people in the chat have said? I know Perry has said it before, that I know a few people have said it, that it just seems that it was like a panic thing. Like he was just like, that's it, I'm doing it today. Like kind of spur of the moment. To me, it's just kind of like, so if that accident really did happen, right, that pedestrian accident, right before he left, like this guy had signals like all the way through, like don't do
it. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from the food delivery guy to the cops being in front
all
of
over
the
neighborhood, to having cops like coming out of Pullman, right? So, dude,
Lifton. So I'm sorry. So who released what was taken from his apartment? That is obviously not part of the warrant unsealing. Well, we've got it. So
It was part of the warrant. It was part of the search warrant. That's where it was in the documents, the very last page.
Yeah.
And they actually added a few things to it. Well, it looked like they did. So, the probable cause that we've had for a while, right? It looks like they added a bunch of stuff to the probable cause warrant.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much just reiterating what was in the search warrant, like what they were looking for, which is pretty standard for investigations these days.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know who released the warrant.
Yeah, well, it just said unsealed.
Unsealed.
Right.
We should take a look at that.
I mean, that's an interesting question. I think they did like a file dump is probably all I can call it. Because they put they put a bunch of paperwork in front of it. They put the probable cause in it, added things to the probable cause that was in the search warrant, and then put what they seized. I feel like it was just a file dump.
Okay. Yeah.
But I don't know. I have no idea.
So I have not gone through this. You have?
I skimmed through it.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't even looked at it. So in Superior Court.
Yeah, a bunch of these first pages, like if you scroll through, they're going to be just typical law jargon. It's very standard.
Okay.
This is what we're looking for. This is where we're going to seize all items pertaining to digital, trace, anything that's in sight, clothing, just a, standard thing. And they put the probable cause in there again and then added some of the stuff that they were looking for in the probable cause. Yeah, they're talking about seizing any kind of hairs, fluid, visible blood, clothing, dark clothing.
It's very detailed.
Yes. And they're trying to cover all grounds. That's usually what you'll get in a search warrant, just trying to cover.
Yeah, cover everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this is also posted in Jasmine, no. I think I'm safe. Good Lord, Martha. So, okay, so this is.
Yeah, so they're looking for evidence of those crimes, weapons, or other things by means of which a crime has been committed or reasonably appears to be committed. So this search warrant pretty much just covers all the bases that they're going to look everywhere and everywhere for whatever it is that they need. And they even took the dustpan, not the dustpan, like the dust container from one of the vacuums.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that when I was going over. It was like, oh, yeah, well, I mean, there could be all sorts of stuff in there as far as.
Trace evidence. I think my dog finally realized that he needs to chill for a second. He found a spot on her recliner.
Let's see here. Maybe I'll.
Love you, buddy.
Okay, I am going to read this part. So let's see here. Okay, this tells you a little bit about the officer that Brett Payne, he is the one that basically gave this statement. On November 13th, 2022, at approximately 4 p.m., Moscow Police Department Corporal Brett Payne and I responded to 1122 King Road, hereafter called the King Road residence, to assist the scene security and processing of the crime scene associated with 4 homicides. Upon our arrival, the Idaho State Police forensic team was on the scene and was preparing to begin processing the scene. MPD Officer Smith, one of the initial responding officers to the incident, advised that he would walk me through the scene. OFC Smith and I entered the King Road residence through the bottom floor on the north side of the building. OFC Smith and I then walked upstairs to the second floor. Officer Smith directed me down the hallway to the west bedroom on the second floor, which I later learned through Xana's driver's license and other personal belongings found in the room was Xana Kernodle's, hereafter called Kernodle's room. Just before this room, there is a bathroom on the south wall of the highway. As I approached the room, I could see a body later identified as Kernodle laying on the floor. Kernodle was deceased with wounds which appear to have been caused by an edged weapon. Also in the room, which does answer some questions as far as where Ethan was. Also in the room was a male later identified as Ethan. Hereafter, Chapin. Chapin was also deceased with wounds later determined. Autopsy report provided by the Spokane County Medical Examiner, Veena Singh, dated December 15th, to be caused by a sharp forced injury. I then followed Officer Smith upstairs to the third floor of the residence, and that consisted of 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. The bedroom on the west side of the floor was later determined to be Kaylee Goncalves, hereafter called Goncalves' room. I later learned from review of Officer Noon's body camera there was a dog in the room when Moscow police officers initially responded. The dog belonged to Goncalves and her ex-boyfriend, Jack Decour. I found out from Corporal Payne's interview with Jack Decour on November 13th, 2022, that he and Goncalves shared the dog.
So they interviewed the dude on the same day.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if he was one of the people that was gathered around.
Well, yeah, I wonder that too. But also, he's the first person they would have looked at. They're like, "Oh, boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, just recently."
Right.
Let's talk.
Absolutely.
But I mean, just the fact that he came in on the same day, they talked to him on the same day, and
absolutely,
they had an inclination that the guy probably had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, they were able to. I mean, I know a lot of us, even up until the time that there was an arrest, a lot of us were still kind of looking at him, even though he had
still look at.
Yeah.
I still do. I'm not even gonna lie.
Seriously, hey? Hello, Perry. And Shauna, welcome.
We still think Ron Longa did this too, but no, for real though. Like, I really do. Like, I know I talk sometimes like this dude's guilty. I don't mean that. I just
it's
just the way it's spoken because of what's in front of you, right? So,
absolutely
I is like innocent until proven guilty, but. So I look at other people. I do like.
Well, a person has to look at everybody. I mean, we're going to. Rambo knives, nunchucks, flying stars.
Anything short.
So one thing that I was hearing today is that they're thinking that there's a good possibility Maddi was the target. Some of the ways I hear of people kind of putting this in, I think is like not correct. But I am starting to think that Maddi very well could be the person that got all of these text messages. The reason I'm leaning towards that is I do believe he was the first person he went to. In my opinion, the person that did this probably took that out of the sheath, laid it on the bed, and went to attack.
Oh, you're
That,
painting a picture. Because that's exactly the kind of picture that I would have painted.
yeah,
This guy did not expect the amount of people to be there.
no.
It seems like he was absolutely, in that scenario, he was absolutely fixated on one person, didn't think anyone was going to be around, so he took his time. So it's
Absolutely.
like, I could see this guy, like, taking the knife out of the sheath, like, straddling her. And
absolutely. That's
a terrible picture to paint, but that's kind of how.
That's the visual we get when we're going through this. And then in my mind, Kaylee heard something. She probably came out, in my mind, closed that bedroom door and came out and was attacked.
So, do you remember that Tic Toc video? That guy, he put out something saying that he was like related to law enforcement, and he just had inside details on how it happened, and he gave it description of how it went.
Okay. Oh, I remember that.
Right. We played it. We played it on the live. So
yes, I do remember that.
He said something like they weren't sleeping in the same bed. He caught one of them off guard, like in the hallway.
Yep.
And that's kind of why I mentioned, like, maybe it was the reason you can explain Murphy being behind a closed door and Kaylee being where she was because the bathroom was actually right next to Maddie's room. It wasn't in the middle of them. It was on a side of Maddie's room. So Kaylee could have walked out of a bathroom, which would explain Murphy being behind the door.
Absolutely.
And saw wide open door to Maddie's room, saw what was going on. But was immediately caught.
Yeah. And then what I've heard is that's basically he just kind of backed her up and put her on the bed, kind of just tossed her onto the bed. Yeah, that's kind of what I've heard. So yeah, that does explain why Murphy would be in that bedroom. And I don't think when he was coming down those stairs, Ethan either knew from the sounds upstairs that something was off, and I think that's probably when a row started.
I think the perp like caught somebody in between. I think somebody was out of the room, either Ethan or Xana. Could have been outside of the bedroom.
Right. Yeah. And it makes sense that it would be James. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I get looking into chat and it's like,
I know.
Oh my God.
I can't help it. Ron Logan looks guilty as shit. I know. I can't help it. It's weird. It's just too much of a coincidence, but we'll get to that someday. It's just too much of a coincidence.
Unreal. Yeah. Ron Logan got him. Yeah. Jack, he was under extreme scrutiny as well. But well, it's just because the guy was kind of like hanging in the it just seems weird. He does sound like ultimately it was nothing suspicious, but
I just think I kind of never really thought of Jack, the hoodie guy. I'll just call him the hoodie guy.
Yeah.
I never thought he was involved because he obviously probably knew that that grab truck had cameras.
Yeah.
That was probably a known thing. They like stream their stuff on Twitch, so it's probably like a known thing.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
I don't think
exactly.
like anybody would risk being seen on camera and then going and doing that kind of thing to them at the same time.
Wrong, Logan.
I miss you, Bluffton. I did.
Yeah. I mean, I still want to dig up that footage with that white car at the food truck going by really creepily and then coming back again.
Okay. So if you
So,
wouldn't have enough time, if you think
okay, so that was not him
I
based
mean,
on.
we only have the information of his timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Bryan's phone starts at 2:44. That's when his timeline starts. Like that's all we know, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
we also know that it takes like less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
To get from Pullman to Moscow if you're actually driving on SR 270.
Yeah. Yeah.
So could it have been him at 1:45 in that video?
Mm.
Possibly. Then he drove home and then
Very true.
grabbed some materials, came back.
Yeah, because it doesn't really seem like he had like any kind of kill kit or anything along those lines. I think he just had one hell of a big pointy thing. And like I say, in my mind, I'll be very surprised. I always thought it was Kaylee. I always did until the sheath and until even going through this. I think he was going after Maddie.
But who's to say the sheath didn't land there after Kaylee? Like maybe he had it in his hand the whole time, and then if it's true that he caught her in the hall and then took her into the bedroom and then dropped her on top of Maddie.
Yeah, that's kind of what I see.
I could also see him dropping the sheath at the same time in like a sort of exhaustion kind of thing.
Yeah. And like I say, in my brain, I've got him going after Maddie, putting the sheath, taking the knife out, putting the sheath down, doing what he was going to do. And probably in his brain,
That's more likely, actually.
And probably in his brain, he thought, okay, well, after the attack, he'd just put it back in there and off he goes. But no, then all of a sudden he had Kaylee to deal with.
And then he caught somebody down the street. Well, that doesn't explain. Because if he was that concentrated, wouldn't he have picked up the sheath? So, like if he would have caught somebody on the second floor, right? It would explain him leaving the sheath, right?
Oh, well, it wouldn't, or it would.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't explain him leaving the sheath because it was by the bed. So
to me,
he either would have picked it up or he just completely forgot. I'm more leaning on the side that he just completely forgot about it.
That's what I think. I think all of a sudden adrenaline kicked in because he realized there was more than one person he had to deal with. Adrenaline probably hit him. And I mean, the wounds on this poor girl, holy man.
If they're true.
Isn't some of it documented?
No. Not on the probable cause. No, it's not. And it's not on the autopsy. No. The only people that have said that are the people on like Tic Toc.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
And,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Kaylee's father said something like the wounds don't match, but or the means of I don't know. He said it really weird. It just doesn't.
Him, and then there was a few others as well that basically said, but with that said, I do not have anywhere written down or in my brain as to where it came from. I don't know if it came from a news source. You see, I don't look at a lot of this social media for information. I really try not to.
I know.
I
But you
do.
have to, because that's like the age we are in today. It's like you have to look
Well,
at the social
when
media.
yeah, like, I mean, certain people, the ones there are certain people, absolutely. But as far as when I'm saying social media, I'm meaning more along the lines of Twitter, Facebook,
Yeah.
those kind of platforms. Not so much, yeah, not so much YouTube. I mean, you do get.
Well, let's take into account. Let's go back. That TikTok video that we showed, and it's in a previous live.
Mhm.
But the guy in the TikTok video said that he was, again, a relative of one of the investigators, right? But then he went from speaking like it was like a third person story to a first person story. It was weird. And he mentioned like Kaylee being caught in the hallway and being brought back into the room, and
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
And
the only reason he mentioned that was because he said, oh, now since like Kaylee's father has relinquished this information about wounds or injuries
mhm,
being different, I
mhm.
can mention this. I'll mention this. Like that's how he put it. That's what he said.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So I
And
know
I agree with you, Shauna.
him.
I think that as soon as things started to turn more south, it was like, I got to get the F out of here. And he was on attack. And then I bet you he dealt with Kaylee thinking he was going to be able to get the hell out of there and got down there. And I think both, from my understanding, both Ethan and Xana put up one hell of a fight. So, I mean, when it gets to where he's going past Dylan, I mean, the guy had to be freaking exhausted if he actually seen her.
Yeah, if he saw her.
Well,
Yeah, we have
that's the
no
thing.
idea what the fuck happened there.
So let's look at this again. It says, I then followed Officer Smith upstairs to the third floor of the residence. The third floor consisted of 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. The bedroom on the west side of the floor was later determined to be Kaylee Goncalves, hereafter Goncalves' room. I later learned from a review of Officer Noon's body camera there was a dog in the room when the Moscow police officers initially responded. I've gone through all of this. The dog belonged to Goncalves and her ex-boyfriend, Jack DeCoeur. I found out from Corporal Payne's interview with Jack DeCoeur, November 13th, that he and Goncalves shared the dog. So I want to get back down here. As I entered, now we're getting into Maddie's room. As I entered this bedroom, I could see 2 females in the single bed in the room. Both Goncalves and Mogan were deceased with visible stab wounds. I was later advised by ISP investigators they located a tan leather sheath lying on the bed next to Mogan's right side. The sheath was later processed, had a K-bar USMC. Let's see here.
Can I just say something really quick? Because
Absolutely.
that guy said that it's from obvious stab wounds. Doesn't
Next,
that say that
let's
they
see.
were kind of big?
Visibles. Or, I mean,
Like, if he
yeah,
could tell from right then and there, from where he was standing, that there were visible stab wounds, like,
it makes me think of the neck.
they gotta be big. They gotta be visible and they gotta be big.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of thinking the neck. Only reason I'm thinking that is that the coroner said at one point that there was one injury that was the final injury, that they were going now,
Yeah.
which makes me think of the neck.
But it didn't
Yeah,
say when that, I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be able to tell, I guess, when that exactly was issued. Because
yeah,
every single victim had several.
they did. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, that was he would have been exhausted. I'm surprised.
that's
I'm
9
surprised
minutes,
he was able
right?
to overpower Ethan. So he had to make some pretty big wounds in order to take care of that big guy.
Unless he had no idea, and who he actually caught or saw him was Xana, and she ran back into the room.
Oh, that makes sense too, doesn't it? That would explain how, yeah.
Ethan would be just completely just
Well, that would make sense as to why Ethan ended up in there, right?
yeah.
Because
They
if he
never
was,
mentioned where Ethan was at. Actually,
they
never.
do say the bedroom.
They do say the bedroom, but they don't put him on the bed. They don't put him on the floor. They put Xana on the floor.
That's very true. Yep. Yep. And well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how that went down. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I would think that Ethan would have put up some sort of fight. Maybe that they would have mentioned it in the probable cause, like if it happened in the living room and there was like some
For
blood
some reason,
that they would see it and say it.
well, and for some reason, they don't say a lot about Ethan's wounds,
No, they don't.
and there has been some paperwork where it's been totally redacted.
No. I don't want to be like a conspiracy theorist, but I was watching some dude, it's a YouTuber the other day,
Yeah.
and he mentioned some pretty like messed up shit,
Yeah.
like of how Ethan was actually found. I put it on my short speculation channel on my Discord
Okay.
because it's weird.
I want to see that.
It's really weird. Like it's something that I don't even want to mention. Like
Yeah, fair enough.
it's really messed up. But
Yeah.
at the same time, like hearing it, if everything about the suspect, like Bryan, the suspect being
Yeah.
for real,
Yeah.
it would really make sense. But that's like a violent kind of character.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And Dandy, this is what we're kind of trying to figure out because I thought outside the bedroom originally, but now they're
Yeah,
saying that he was
that he was inside.
inside.
Yeah.
So, Mekci, your theory, I mean, it works for Xana going out and then beelining her back to
Yeah,
the
it makes
room.
sense if that DoorDash order was actually legit and it was real and she really ordered it.
Yeah.
It makes sense that she would eat it, take it to the kitchen, and maybe encountered.
Yeah, there's that too, because that bag was placed on that counter in there, which surprised me actually, because a lot of this had to have been done in the same time frame that he was there.
Yeah, Blifton, you did hear that. That's what
Yes.
makes her whole situation really weird. I'm glad someone's talking about it because that is really weird.
Please do elaborate. I don't know about this either.
It is said that DM Dylan
Yeah.
was posting things on Instagram that morning. Like
What?
before the 911 call, like right before the 911 call.
What? Do we know on what platform? And it's probably gone, right?
No, it's not gone. I can find it. It's not hard. Everyone's talking about it.
You see this, everyone. Do you know what I did before this stream? I listened to some old rock music
Yeah,
with
we did.
Mekci.
We listened to Lowrider right before the stream came on.
That's what I was thinking, Dandy. You could slice that femoral artery or jugular and bleed out in a matter of heartbeats. And that's it. You see, did you guys hear about this? Yeah, like I'm with Shauna, like, what? Dandy, What?
I've seen it. I've heard of it. Like,
First I've heard of this.
I can't confirm that. I mean,
Okay.
because her Instagram is private. Like,
Oh.
you can't even see it. So,
Yeah, I've been kind of busy today too, Shauna. Huh. So would Twitter and those platforms have anything?
I mean, I'll send you
Yeah.
a video of somebody who will have it.
Okay. I'm in Twitter. Let's see if I can.
Somebody that I'll post it on the Discord channel. So,
Okay. The eyewitness who claimed to see someone. The eyewitness who claimed to see someone on the night of the murders is the same student the Moscow Police Department previously said slept through the attack. Okay.
well, I mean, they also said
Said.
it was the 2011 to 2013. It was actually 2015.
Right.
They also said that the roommates saw nothing, but obviously they saw everything and were awake.
Right.
So I'm not surprised at this point.
Moscow Police Department daily activity logs, Thursday, January 12th. Oh, I'm just going to look at this. See what the hell is that? Moscow Police Department daily activity log. I just want to see if this is. Hey, girls. No. Get out of there. I just want to see what dates these are. The hell?
Thank you, Lifton. Is that the actual video to the thing?
Okay. That's all.
Yeah, the fucking theorizing theorist. That dude.
Okay.
That's his link to the actual video. Guys, make sure you subscribe. We won't be playing that video here, but
check it out.
yeah,
Absolutely.
check it out. Thank you, Lifton.
Oh, that's very interesting. Isn't that something? Blifton, you rock. Thank you very much. Okay, let's look at this a little bit more. So this is part of the investigation, numerous interviews. So this is actually talking about Dylan right here. As part of the investigation, numerous interviews were conducted by Moscow Police Department, Idaho State Police detectives, FBI agents. 2 of the interviews included BF, so that's Bethany, hereafter called BF, and DM, which is Dylan, hereafter called DM. So we're inside the King Road residence at the time of the homicides, and we're roommates to the victims. They are saying Bethany's bedroom is located on the east side of the first floor. Based on numerous interviews conducted by officers, agents, and review of evidence, I have learned the following. On the evening of November 12th, Chapin, Kernodle were seen by Bethany at the Sigma Chai House on the U of I campus. We know that Kaylee and Maddie were both at the Corner Club, and that they were there between 10 p.m. We know that they went to the Grub Truck on Main Street, Moscow. So DM and BF both made statements during interviews that indicate occupants of the King Road residence were home by 2 a.m. and asleep or at least in their rooms by about 4 a.m. This is with the exception of Kernodle, who received a DoorDash order at about 4 a.m. DM stated she originally went to sleep in her bedroom on the southeast side of the second floor. She'd stated that she was awoken at approximately 4 a.m. by what she stated sounded like gone calves playing with her dog in one of the upstairs bedroom. I don't think that's what was going on, but maybe.
Nope. Yeah, I don't think so either.
Right? So a short time later, DM said she heard who she thought was gone calves say something to the effect of, "There is someone here." That's scary as shit. A review of the records obtained by forensics download of Kernodle's phone showed that she could have also been. Okay, let me go through this again. This could have also been Kernodle, as the cellular phone indicated she was awake and still using Tic Toc at 4:12 a.m. So chances are really good she was in that house awake when this happened. So this is where she says she looked out of her bedroom but did not see anything. She heard the comment about someone being in the house, and then Dylan stated she opened her door a second time and she heard what she thought was crying coming from Kernodle's room, and heard a male voice that said, "It's okay, I'm going to help you."
Creepy.
I don't and I don't think that, I don't know about you. Do you think that voice was Ethan? I don't.
Yeah, no, I don't believe it was Ethan, because
Yeah.
I'm trying to like put myself in the situation and think of what a boyfriend or a partner or someone would tell you, and that's not the way they would say it.
No.
They wouldn't say,
No.
"It's okay, I'm going to help you." That's not what they would fucking say.
No. The only person other than this guy that would have said that is possibly a 911 operator.
Yeah.
Possibly.
But that's the only way. Yeah, that's the only person that I would think would say that, because
Right?
I can't imagine like my partner being, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." I'd be like, "No,
Yeah,
I'm gonna help
no.
you. Let's do this."
Yeah, no. So the
Yeah.
combination of Dylan's statement to law enforcement and review of forensic downloads on records from Bethany and Dylan's phone show and video, let's see here, phone and video of the suspect vehicle is described below at 4 a.m. And it was there from 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. What the hell? Leads investigators to believe the homicides occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. They've stretched that. It was 4:20. I remember that.
No, it is 4:20. Because they say they catch the vehicle coming out of there at 4:20. So why they
Yes.
would put the timeline?
Yeah, they extended
That
the
is
timeline.
weird. I always thought that was weird.
That's weird. And also, what's weird is investigators found that latent shoe print, and that was located on the second floor. And I do believe, okay, they did a presumptive blood test, and it did detect the presence of cellular material. And it had a pattern on the bottom very close to a Vans type shoe. So, what I find odd, or a little bit scary actually, is this footprint, which sounds like is a whole footprint, was right in front of Dylan's door.
Yeah, it's like it stopped there, but
That's my thoughts.
and
That's my
that's the
thoughts.
excuse that I was trying to come up
Mm-hmm.
with for her. Like, I was like, "Oh, maybe like she saw this guy and the guy saw her and he stopped in front of her door and was like, 'I'm gonna get you,' kind of thing, and was like trying to get in
Right?
after she locked it, and then she went into like some weird state."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
if we're gonna believe, and if it's true that she was posting things that morning, that makes no fucking sense.
So then listen to this. A review of the footage from multiple videos obtained from the King Road neighborhood showed multiple sightings of suspect vehicles starting at 3:29 and ending at 4:20. 4:20 or 4:25.
Hmm.
Let me see here.
I don't know. I also find it weird, like how he knew, or maybe he didn't know. So there's two scenarios. Either he went in there knowing that all the people that were there were going to be there, or he went in there thinking nobody was going to be in there except the person that he was actually going for, right?
Yeah, and with that said, I wonder why he didn't think of that extra vehicle that had never been there before.
If he was there all the time, right? Like
Mhm.
how they placed him, right? He had been there at least 12 other times in the area.
Yeah,
That's in the area. We don't even know if it's on top of the house. It's just in the area.
yeah, yeah.
Would you take that risk?
Not me personally, but this guy has
Right.
done every little screwed up move he possibly could.
I mean, if he was really stalking them, he would know that every single person in there was dating someone, had a boyfriend. Things were random. They
Yeah.
had random parties. People were there till all sorts of the night. He probably had
Well,
people coming in and out. How would you know if they had someone there or not? The
well,
person
and this is
you were
the thing.
after. Yeah.
This is the thing. There was, like I said, there was a new vehicle there that he would have never have seen before.
Yeah.
DoorDash was just there, and there's a
Right.
really good possibility that he's seen DoorDash. There's a good possibility, and there's a good possibility DoorDash seen him.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So now they're screwing up with, like, they're screwing with the timelines,
Well, it's a probable cause thing, so it's up to the prosecutors to paint the pretty picture.
right?
They're
Yeah.
just cops. They do the investigating. The
Right.
prosecutors, they paint the pretty picture of how exactly it
Uh,
happened. But it's all really weird. There's a lot of coincidences.
yeah.
There
Oh,
being an
yeah.
accident right in his neighborhood before he even left.
Yeah.
All the cops in the area, like the DoorDash driver.
Yeah. Yeah. The cops by Banfield, the cops outside his house, DoorDash, a bizarre vehicle. And it's like, what? You still go in,
Yeah. Why?
right?
I
Uh-huh.
mean, like he would
James,
have
you're so
to
funny.
know, right? Like he would have to
I
why would
love
you take that
this.
risk? I just don't understand like why you would take that risk of
Oh God,
not
me
knowing
either.
who the hell is gonna be there.
You see what James says? Mekci Colombo.
Colombo.
Do you know who Colombo is?
No, Texas. Gracioso. Of course I know who Colombo
I'm old. I don't know.
is.
Absolutely, Perry. He was pushing the envelope on this
Yeah,
one.
it's just a
And there's,
very risky,
oh, yeah.
like so many variables, a lot of things can go like it's just so weird. Like all the things that happened that night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, there was every reason to not go in there that night.
Yeah.
Why not the next night? Why did he have to go in there when there was so many
So
variables?
that's what makes me wonder if he knew when I know I mentioned in a different live, like if when we found out that he might have been stalking them,
Mm-hmm.
he
Mm-hmm.
was stalking everyone else by default, right?
Right.
Like everybody close to the girls and maybe just everyone close to them, right?
Yeah.
Maddie's
Yeah.
boyfriend was supposedly out of town. He was in Boise that night. So did Bryan know that?
Right.
I mean, that's why he felt comfortable going in that night because I would assume that Maddie's boyfriend would probably spend some nights with her at her house.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you know that he wasn't there if you weren't
Right.
watching
Yeah. Yeah.
unless you already knew?
I would love to know um, the times that he was actually in that area. I know that,
Late night, early morning. They weren't really
right?
specific with it.
Yeah. Agatha Christie, Murder She Wrote, damn straight. Yeah. I mean, it's almost like when we we learn something, get any little bit of information, it just kind of throws another twist into things and more questions.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they say right here at approximately 4:20, he was leaving at a high rate of speed, southbound on Walenta, and this is based on review of video cam footage. So now they're saying he likely exited the neighborhood of Palouse River Drive. So we're throwing in speculation here, so that's kind of tricky too. Law enforcement provided video footage of the suspect vehicle to forensic examiners.
I just want to do a real quick thing. I want to pop my collar and be cocky because, yes, actually, English.
Mm-hmm.
Showing off my English. Spanish is my first language.
Yes. Oh, Chi-Chan Chong. Yeah, you've got like a beautiful act. Well, I love listening to you talk Spanish. Don't have a freaking clue what you're saying most of the time, but it's just like,
I played
damn,
Franky
that's
Spanish
pretty.
music earlier. She loved it.
Love. Yep.
English and bad English.
What's that? I missed English and English, right?
English and bad English. Yeah, it bothered.
Oh,
Oh, hey, honey.
So basically, the stuff in here that I'm going over, nothing is new. That's why I'm not.
No.
Yeah, just kind of go
What
over the
is
stuff.
that? Is that your phone? Is that your
Yeah, that's my
ringtone?
phone. Yeah.
Call and answer. Say hello.
It's hubby.
Oh, hey, Abby. Hi, Mr. Rose. How you doing?
How you doing? So this in here is talking about getting the warrant for all of his, like from his phone and all of his devices. And that they did get the records from his phone.
Yeah, from like when he opened the account.
You bet. Damn, he was not a smart criminal.
Do you think he erased his stuff? Because I know they seized. What did they seize? They seized the Fire Stick. Don't take my Fire Stick.
Yeah.
Here,
I'll.
I didn't hear any mention about them stealing, or not stealing, seizing any computer stuff on there.
Yeah, let's see if I want to. So this is what was seized. So one, what is that? Oh, one black glove, must be a surgical. One Walmart receipt, one Dickies tag, two Marshalls. I thought it said marshmallows. Two Marshalls receipts, the dust container from the Bissell Power Force vacuum, 8 possible hair strands. Yep, the Fire TV stick with cord and plug, 1 possible animal hair strand, 1 possible hair, another possible hair, another possible hair, and another possible hair, 1 computer tower, 1 collection of dark red spot. This is the stuff that's interesting. Collected without testing. 2 cuttings from uncased pillow of reddish brown stain, larger stain tested.
Can I share my screen?
Yeah, I'll just go through this last one.
Yeah, because
2 top and bottom of the mattress cover packaged separately, both labeled C, multiple stains, 1 tested. Okay, I will share yours.
So they tested 1 on the spot, obviously, and it probably came up for blood.
Oh, you're putting up the same. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
How does it do this?
On that last one, the top and bottom of mattress cover packaged separately, both labeled C. Cuttings from uncased pillow, reddish brown stain. They probably tested one of those just to see if it was blood on the spot.
Yeah, hey?
And then mentioning all those possible hairs, I wonder if they were different. Why would this one be labeled differently? Like, so they have one possible animal hair strand, right? And then one possible hairs. And then number 11 says one possible hair strand.
Yeah.
So what's the difference? Like, I'm assuming one has a root, the other one doesn't.
Longer, shorter.
By strand, I would assume it probably has a root.
Right?
I
wondered because they said those 8 and then they started to list off other things. Absolutely.
It's interesting because it's obviously labeled differently. So
right?
It's got to be a difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm assuming the strand would probably have the root attached to it. That's why they labeled it strand. So that's more DNA right there. Yay.
Right?
Yay.
Yeah. Well, and I'm wondering why they took so many. Could it possibly be from other people?
Yeah. Or they were just located in like different spots. Maybe one came, well, if it came from a hairbrush, I would think they would label it as it came from a hairbrush.
Okay.
So it must have just been like in the apartment. Like, I don't know. That's interesting.
I can do the alphabet, James. That's as far as I can go. So yeah, let me take a look here. Okay, we've already looked at this. I'm going to close that. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so yeah, this is interesting. About from Murphy, hey Shauna? Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? So I'm curious what you guys think about this here. Come on. Okay. It's coming. That's not it. So yeah, what do you guys think of this? Accused Idaho unaliver Bryan Kohberger repeatedly messaged one of the victims on Instagram.
I wouldn't have passed him. If that story about his Tinder date is true, like he sounds like that kind of guy. The guy that she went on a Tinder date with sounds like that kind of guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's check this out.
I'm going to step away for 1 second, okay?
Accused of killing them, sent a series of messages to one of the victims on Instagram. This, according to an investigator familiar with the case, who tells people that in late October, Bryan Kohberger, quote, slid into one of the girl's DMs several times, but she didn't respond. The source adds that the message was basically him saying, hey, how are you? But he allegedly did it again.
So yeah, it doesn't seem like he deals with rejection very well.
And again, it's unclear why there was no response to his messages, but authorities say that the victim may have
Why did it go blue?
Missed them completely. The investigation source explains that they're still trying to determine how aware the victims were of Kohberger's existence, and adds that there's no indication that he was getting frustrated with her lack of response, although he was, quote, definitely persistent. The 4 victims were all stabbed to death in an off-campus rental home in Moscow, Idaho on November 13th. A masked intruder entered the home and killed the students with a fixed blade knife. More than a month later, authorities arrested the 28-year-old Washington State University graduate student at his parents' home in Pennsylvania. He was charged with 4 counts of murder and 1 count of felony burglary. He waived his extradition to Idaho, voluntarily agreeing to return to the state to face the charges against him.
I still think he's cocky and thinking that he's going to be able to get out of this.
I think, like, I'm with Blifton on this one, though, because I've asked that question. I'm like, what did this guy do? Like, park the car and then freaking Usain Bolt to the sliding glass door? You just don't do that. Like, even when parking a car, you sit there, you turn the car off, you make sure everything's on you. It's just a normal habit, right? So I wouldn't think you would forget about that if you were committing a crime, right?
Yeah, he wasn't, I think BK screwed unless he has an ace up his sleeve.
I do think that 4 murders can be done that fast. I do think it's possible.
Me too.
I just that short little window of time is like it's hard to wrap my head around because
absolutely. You see, and that's the thing, James, I'd be having like the biggest freaking hissy fit you ever did see. I wouldn't be all calm, cool, and collected. Like, absolutely not.
Especially
like,
if this is supposed to be your first time, right?
Yeah, and he honestly does not look nervous. I mean, he might not like I would expect. Like, I'd be like, I would still be freaking out.
Well, I would never be able to do this unless it was like heat of the moment, like you're actually trying to kill me at that moment.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't go out on my way to go attack someone. But this guy like literally did things, and if this is supposed to be his first time,
right?
Is he just like the luckiest bastard in the world then? Because
yeah, kind of looking that way, right?
He did things. There was a DoorDash driver there that could have caught you. There was plenty of people who saw you, heard you.
Yeah. Mucinex. Welcome.
Mucinex. Hello, Mucinex.
Yep, welcome.
Mucinex gives me a headache. That's why I never take it.
1 minute is a long time if under an attack like that, right?
Yeah, because they would go by hauntingly slow.
Oh, absolutely.
But that you have to think like just what it does to a person as well. Like time might go fast, but it's not going fast. There's still a realistic thing going on at that moment.
Oh yeah, like
energy and strength and all these things. Like he did that in 9 minutes.
Yeah, I believe
Someone who's
it.
never done it before. He has an endurance. He's a runner. We know that.
Yeah, he's obvious. I mean, it looks like he kind of cut himself shaving absolutely worse than he ever hurt himself in that house.
Is that a nervous shake we see there,
right?
sir?
Right. Let's finish up with this.
I'm not trying to.
According to the probable cause affidavit obtained by People, one of the victim's surviving roommates said she saw the killer and described them as a, quote, figure clad in black clothing and a mask who walked past her as they left the crime scene. The affidavit also alleged that Koberger was linked to the crime scene.
Okay. So yeah, this is basically saying in here that he was sending a bunch of messages to one of these girls, and they're still leaning towards Maddi. Authorities remain Mhm.
The sheath makes sense. It makes more sense that the sheath lays there because that's who he went for
First.
first.
Yeah, that's
But
what I think.
it could it be there for other reasons? Yeah, absolutely. Like shit happens.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that would make sense. Yeah, it makes the most
Okay.
sense.
She may not have seen them because they went into message requests saying the investigation source Instagram users are not notified when they receive a message from someone they don't follow back. They go into a special folder. I don't use that platform, so I am not familiar.
It happens with Facebook too. Like if people that aren't your friends, like or you
Mm-hmm.
don't follow per se, message
Yeah.
you, it goes into a special folder. It's like yeah, it's just like not your friend folder.
Okay. Like a spam almost?
Kinda. That's what you
Yeah.
want to call it. Just I would say not your friend. Not
Yeah.
someone you know.
You're not my friend.
Not a friend
Look at
folder. Yeah.
him. Look at the look on his face here. Like, what? I don't get it. He's obviously got like a please don't shoot me vest on.
You know what I found creepy? Because I worked on that video. I put a filter on these pictures
Yeah.
where it was like VHS.
Mm-hmm.
And that dude looked so much like Ted Bundy.
Oh my God. Isn't it unreal?
It was kind of terrifying, actually. It was weird.
Oh,
Like, because just in a regular picture, I'm like, oh, that's Bryan. But then if you put him in like a VHS filter, he looks like
yeah.
Ted Bundy. I'm just like, what?
Just wild. Absolutely wild. Yeah. So it's saying here that he just basically sent a series of private messages on Instagram to one of the girls in particular, but was following all three of those girls.
Mhm. It's so fucking creepy.
Oh, yeah, he's a creepy dude.
I don't have any kids, but for the people that do have kids, look at your kids' shit, man. Look
Absolutely.
at what the hell they're doing. I know they might find that annoying, but
Oh, I creep my son.
you just gotta you have to know what they're doing, especially if they're really young.
Yeah. Yeah,
You have no idea
absolutely.
what they could be getting into or who's there.
No, I know when I was raising my son, literally I got onto his social medias and I even did people like they were doing anything just their age and go, what?
But everything's
Yeah.
so much social now. Like I noticed, guys, I'm gonna share a little bit of my life. I just got like one of those switches, the Nintendo Switches.
Mm-hmm.
And if you sign up for their actual subscription for Nintendo, like you can chat with people, like just random people. And they're in
Yeah.
game things too, like these predators, these creepers, these
Yeah.
weird people. Like always check who the hell your kids are talking to. They're gonna find it annoying, but
Yeah. Yeah.
just ask. Just ask.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's not safe for kids out there on the mean streets of social media.
It's not safe for adults either, to be honest. But
It really,
protect the
yeah,
kids. Those are the future, and it's super important to.
absolutely. The way he was determined does not make me think it's plausible he felt he needed to act that night.
That's what's strange about it is if he really was around. Obviously, he was around the area. Was he on
Mhm.
top of the house? I don't know, but he was
Right.
in the area.
Yeah.
Why would he do all this work
Mm-hmm.
and then just be like, fuck it, tonight's the night?
Right.
go big or go home. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what happened? I want to know what happened that night.
Oh,
That made him
right.
feel that way. Like, if that's what happened, if he was like, fuck it, tonight's the night, what happened?
Yeah. And you're right, Dandy. Yeah. What the hell happened? I mean, I really hope that we learn more as, the trial comes, and I really hope that we get some more information. And I'm sorry that, or I'm just hoping these families get some justice. Well, and that's right, Dandy. The spine, the throat, thigh, quick and quiet. Severe elect. I remember that so well, James. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Why
That
does
was
everyone take
freaking
a break? When it
hilarious.
comes to serial killers, why do they take a break? I don't know.
Why do they take a break? They've got what they call that a cooling down period.
Yeah, but for 10 years.
It's a long time. But look at how far BTK went.
That's who James is talking about.
Oh, I'm not there
yet. Like,
Yeah.
why would
Yeah.
why would you?
Right, James?
What makes people different? Like, I don't understand. You think that serial killers, they're all the same, right? But they're not. They're not all the same.
No, hells no. They're individual people.
They all have different niches.
There we go. See, I'm so far behind. Smoke break. It seems like I've seen quite a few of these serial killers. Once they get into a serious relationship,
They get
seem
fixated on that until it wears off.
Yeah. And then they're back.
Well,
What's
I've heard that. I haven't seen it.
Right?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it. I've heard of it. Yeah, they get into a fixation with the person that they're with, but it's usually the person that they're with is exactly the person that they attack. Like,
oh, exactly, right? Exactly. Wow. Well, let me see. I'm just going to take a quick look and see if there's anything else in this paperwork we want to see. It does talk about, okay, let's see here. One of those occasions, August 1st, 2022, the phone utilized cellular service providing coverage to the King Road residents from approximately 10:34 p.m. to 11:35 p.m. So he was creeping around there, I do believe that he was probably testing doors and looking through windows. Wouldn't even surprise me if he was going through that damn house.
there's that cam footage of the girl saying her underwear was found somewhere else.
Yep.
Perry brings up a lot of good police activity.
Yeah.
From creepers, intruders, burglars, whatever the fuck. And they were all around the time that Bryan would have been in the area.
See? Yeah, exactly.
One of those places, and we don't know if it's him. Yeah. We don't even know if it's Bryan.
Yeah.
But
they need to be looking into him, though, when it comes to a lot of this stuff that was happening around
I would assume this stuff was a lot of the things that were being sent in during those tips. I would hope so.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Peeping Tom. Exactly, James.
Yeah. It has to start somewhere. He just doesn't go from.
No. And it seems like he has fixated on one or two of these girls. And it seems like that thought process has almost taken him over to the point where
I guess I could see like a rage thing. So like
Mhm.
there's two scenarios. Either this dude has done it before, right?
Mhm.
Or he escalated towards that.
Mhm.
I guess there's three options. So he's done it before, he escalated towards that. Escalation would go to both. But
Yeah.
he could have also just done this out of just straight outrage.
It's very, very, very possible. In order for him to, like, in my thoughts, in order for him to do this at such a high risk time.
He was just pissed.
Oh, right.
That's the only thing I can explain. Like that's why I would do something absolutely stupid like this. I was just pissed, right? Like,
Right.
I had it. Today's the day. I'm fucking pissed. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Mhm.
but stalking them, apparently, allegedly.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's in the area. There's a lot of things in the area. Coffee shops.
He sure did, Perry.
Areas.
Danny Rollins started as a peeper voyeur.
Yeah, a lot of
at
them do.
15. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and a person always says, like, is there signs? I don't know that there's signs.
Harry, I
If
do
they,
have a question. Sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
no, that's okay.
No, I have a question. I just have a real question. Perry, from your looking up, do you think, is there anything coming up as peeping toms, intruders, lurkers outside of the premises before June
Mm-hmm.
of 2022?
Yeah. Yeah. This almost eliminates him from the coyotes that were being put on the different fraternities and sororities. This almost
So weird.
eliminates him from that. But
That's so
still,
weird, and whoever that was needs to be caught.
oh yeah, I mean, and whoever hurt that dog, if it wasn't him,
They
and
all
I'm
need
starting to
therapy.
think it probably was not him.
They all need therapy. I'm
Oh,
not gonna put the dog thing across like past him though.
well, yeah, I guess, I mean, it can't be eliminated either, can it?
No.
I don't know. If we're talking about Trudum, that would not surprise me.
July 12th, so that would have been like 3rd, 6th, and 5th.
Oh my God, you're funny, man.
It hasn't been announced when
Okay.
Bryan
July 12th.
actually showed up to the area, has it?
Well, it's almost sounding like June. So, but it doesn't sound like he had a place to rent until August.
The only time I've heard about June is his cell phone, because that's when he opened it up. Like that's when he started the account, but it was in Pennsylvania. It was like June something, 2020. It just said June 2022.
Right.
But
Colonel Russell, you're talking about. That's funny. And yes, he did. Yep, he did. He flew the Queen. He was like the highest ranking that you could get. Like, yeah, you're right. That is so freaking funny. I thought we were talking about a different family, but he actually turned into like a really scary guy, didn't he? But again, he was that is very interesting. Neighbor at 700 block says the prowler was in bushes just 50 feet away. Maybe he started stalking someone else before turning his attention to them.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Colonel Russell what?
Colonel Russell with the red fucking lingerie. What do you call that?
I don't even think I've got him.
You don't. Yeah. No,
in
this dude
Discord.
was weird. Like, he was also an idiot. He's also one of those guys that should go into like, oh, you're an idiot. He like drove his vehicle, his SUV, into the field that was right next to the house.
Russell Williams.
Yeah, that dude. And then he drove by a day later, and they were like, "Why do you have mud on your tires?"
Right?
But they were doing like an actual like individual search on it at the time, so yeah, they got him
Here,
pretty
we'll
good.
just let's show the guy that just made Canada so proud. So look at this guy.
Oh, look at him. Yes, that one right there. Show that picture. Enlarge it. No, this one right here in the corner. Right here. Underneath. No, to the left. Left.
This one?
No, left. Yeah, that one. Oh my God.
Here's another nice one.
Oh my God. Look at that.
Oh my,
Look at that.
oh my God.
You're
Yeah.
gonna take out your eyeballs and clean them off because
Oh, there's another beauty.
you won't ever unsee that, folks. Just letting
No,
you
you're
know.
never gonna unsee this. This is probably trigger
the one in
warning.
the thing that no, go back up. No, go back. No.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh my God, you never know what's gonna happen on this channel.
Oh man.
Ooh yeah. Ooh yeah.
Ooh,
Oh my God. James, Harry, I apologize. I will move out of here. They're
Oh,
probably
man.
going, what
Yeah,
the actual? What the hell?
So you call it
Sorry, guys.
It's a bad time. Actually.
How good they're laughing.
That dude was a freaking freak, man. Like,
Oh my God. Yeah.
that's how I remember him. I don't even remember his name. I just like know him as like the cutie underwear guy. Sexy lingerie guy.
Yeah. Like he was as high up as you can go in the Air Force, the military Air Force. And he was flying around the Queen. That was her look at James. Oh, dandy burn. Yeah, that's a little awkward. Yeah, I could tell you a story, but I can't tell you on this.
I can tell
I'm
you
not on
the story,
YouTube.
but I'm not going to tell you the story.
Yeah, YouTube would ban me for life. Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah, so now it's back to like, what the F? This is where that part of Wednesday comes in.
That's so fun, man. It's hump day. We all have a hard time. It's middle of the week.
I love Wednesdays and Saturdays where you're up here and we've got, this group here, you guys are amazing. I totally, and I know I say this lots, right, Perry? Oh my God. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Like we're the same. Yeah. Oh my goodness, I like that.
We can't talk about the Queen's panties like that.
Yeah, Wacky Wednesdays. Wacky Wednesday. I like that. Write that down, actually.
What the Franky? I like the what the Franky.
What the Franky? What the Franky? Yeah, I like that too. I like that too. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Canada does it. Did he? What's wrong with that? Did he stretch it?
No, I think he just got the perfect size, which is also weird.
Oh,
It's also weird.
yeah, Canada, we got Picton, we got this guy, we've got James knows how sick Clifford Olson was. He said he just
Olson.
It's treason to talk about the undercrackers. I don't want anyone else's. Oh my God. Oh my God, Dandy. Yeah. In order for me to actually be mature and act my age, I can literally not have anyone around. I have too much fun.
Mm-hmm. My own best friend, honestly.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I love chat. But I think pretty much that's it for what we have right now.
Sorry, I'm eating cookies.
I'm just kind of going, it's very, very long. And it covers absolutely everything that they could possibly run into for evidence. Like, we want this, that, this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But nothing that pretty much we don't know.
That's pretty much how his, what's that other one that we were reading the other day? That it said that there was it was a document for discovery.
Mm.
And the second one mentioned something about anything a co-defendant would say or mentioned.
Right.
That said, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't necessarily mean that there's a co-defendant.
Right.
It's the lawyer, the defense attorney covering all the bases. Shauna had it right.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Almost like a blanket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which is also kind of like how the search warrant was too. Like it just covered everything.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that is, it's going to be the best way to go because God only knows what you're going to find with a character like this. So,
sorry, but what, Lefton?
Sorry, but B-U-T-T.
But you better not be talking about my butt. His butt.
I'm getting old. I don't have a butt. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. God. I did hear someone say that asking for details of a co-defendant when none is obvious is not normal.
So the way I had it described to me, because not only did I watch Tragos,
Mm-hmm.
the lawyer, I know,
good
put his
looking
link up
guy.
in that. Yeah, the good-looking guy.
Hey, babies.
But I also asked a friend who happens to know about all this stuff, and I did confirm that it is pretty standard in cases like this to ask just a blanket thing. The worst you can get is none. There is nothing.
Right.
That's the worst you're going to get. It doesn't hurt to ask. It doesn't hurt to put it in there.
Right. Just on the off chance somebody does.
Yeah. At the same time, they're not saying that there isn't. So they're not saying that there is.
Right.
A co-defendant, but they're also not saying that there isn't. But this is all pretty standard.
You're going to get the hose again.
In a case where 4 people got murdered, it's pretty standard to ask.
Okay.
Those kind of questions.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure this lawyer is smart enough to know, because she's heard everything's publicized, that it's alleged that Bryan asked that question when he got arrested. Has anyone else been arrested?
Exactly. Yeah.
So this is probably her just covering her fucking bases.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes
Because
sense.
the worst thing she can get is there isn't anything. That's
Exactly.
it. And now she knows. So
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And I mean, I'm pretty damn sure he was trying to throw a kink into things. I mean, he's
I don't
smart
know.
enough to know that if
I
he
have no idea what
throws out
trying
a
to do.
different avenue,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know what he was trying to do though. Like, if he really said that, I have no idea, really.
Well, it throws in reasonable doubt right away.
Well, someone said something actually pretty brilliant that I had never even thought of. They said, what if it's not actually about committing the perfect crime, but using the justice system to commit the perfect crime?
Well, that does sound like Agatha Christie.
Yeah.
So is this guy, do you think, as smart as he thinks he is?
No.
No. He's made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
I'll be interested. It's a long time before we're going to really get anything but speculation, unless people start, people from previous in his life or current people that he may know
There's a
start
lot of
talking a
people
little bit.
But there is a lot of people talking.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be able to like weed through that. Like, are people just talking? Like, are these people that
Right.
actually knew him, or are these just people that like went to school with him?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, this is one of those cases. I mean, we haven't seen this type of crime for a long time. What it does to me, I mean, I have not seen where a dormitory or a house off campus has had an attack like this in years.
It does make me think. That's why. It does make me think that it's Bryan. And
Yep.
I'm not accusing him. It just makes me think that it's him because he studied like all these serial killers, and there's certain things.
Mm-hmm.
If this is him, that he's done or said, or
Yeah.
there's like certain little characteristics that you're like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah. Not getting caught is smart. Agreed.
yeah, doing it.
And I mean, Dandy's right. Like, if he did it, he's an idiot and he got caught. Like, I just think if he was out to make a name for himself and be like a Ted Bundy or a BTK, well, it was an epic fail. Epic fail. All the mistakes this guy made. And you're right. I don't see even the tad bit of empathy in him, James. Not even a little bit.
If that's him in those health forums, he admits it, like not having empathy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not feeling like he's there in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it does kind of sound like there's a possibility of some kind of mental health issues. But with that said, with him, when it came to extraditing him back to Moscow, he said, no, I'm perfectly clear, no issues, no medical issues, mental health is good. I'm not crazy. I can make my own decisions here. It's all good. So will he able to squirm and get that?
He's not going to be allowed, obviously, because he's in Idaho. So he can't even play that.
So it cannot be used?
He can't say that he's insane. The jury can find him insane, but they're going to get him treatment. And as soon as he's fixed, they're sending him right back to whatever
to the punishment
they agreed upon.
Very similar to what's happening in Michael Bond's case with Wanstra. They check her every month and see where she's at. And if she's still not able to participate, they hold her for another month in the facility and they try her again. See if she's good to go. And if not, back to the hospital.
The only issue I have with that is what it does to the parents who are
horrid.
Their child. Like,
Yep. I mean, Brandy McNeil has had a bitch of a time with how she's been attacked by not only social media, mainstream media. I'm a little bit tired of hearing everything about social media when I'm starting to see how much mainstream media is actually doing that is very uncouth. So, yeah, I feel very sorry for Brandy because they've been attacked.
I don't understand why people even did that to begin with, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, there is on Twitter and these people are also on a couple other platforms, but
I'm going to share my screen if you don't mind.
No, not at all. That this is what they do.
This is Michael.
That's Monkey.
Yeah. He got snatched like right outside of his house pretty much and was missing for a year, and then cops finally thought they caught on to where he was. And the people at that house, one of them, both of them are actually facing federal charges for weapons, if I'm not mistaken. The male is in jail, sitting in prison right now, in federal prison.
Yep.
And the woman who she's talking about, who Franky's talking about, is the one that's been Sandra. What is her name? Right? Wandra.
Sarah Wanstra. Yeah.
Sarah. Yeah, whatever the fuck.
Yeah. So isn't that interesting, James? Lived in a town where the wife went missing. Body was never found. I knew loads of those involved. It was the first murder conviction in Scotland without a body. Oh, wow, eh? Yeah. Yeah, baby Michael, bless him.
You don't technically need the body. You just need enough evidence to prove.
Well, I didn't know how it would go in Scotland. You know, when you get into different countries, everything can be so different that, yeah, that's very interesting to know. You know, and what is the other case right now with Anna Walsh? Her husband was just arrested. And that's going to be more than likely a no body case. Sounds like
a little too obvious. Like I think they have enough to get him on
I think so. Yeah.
But what was that other one that was very similar? They did actually try to arrest him for it.
Another
Kathy.
case?
She was buried in a barn. Cassie, I think her name was Cassie.
Carly Cassie?
Carly, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And her husband was let go. He was in jail for a second. They caught him actually disposing of the cell phone out of his car, out of his truck.
Yeah.
And he went to court, and I think they said that there just wasn't enough evidence to.
Yeah. And I do think he was rearrested.
God, I hope so.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
That was so obvious. Like, it's him.
Oh, yeah. It was one of my first videos when that was happening. So I've got that in my playlist.
Carly Cassie.
Yeah.
They were supposed to have, if you guys don't know about it, they were supposed to have like, they have a child together. So they're doing like a swap for visitation. And she's going to meet him at a certain spot. And then disappeared. Like,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
the family called them up and they were like, "Hey, what's going on?" He was like, "Oh, I don't know. I have the kid, and she told me to go drop her off somewhere, and I did, and that's the last I know." And you're like, "Man,
Oh, right.
you did it. You did it."
Yeah, I think, James, I think you're right. And I mean, you're still under, like, we're still British ruled ultimately. So I think Scotland, are you guys British ruled as well? It would make our legal systems quite similar. And America, yeah, state to state. I have a very hard time trying to figure that out. I threatened to feed my ex to some dandy. Scottish and British, yes. Okay. Okay. A for now? Does that mean you're ditching us? Well, it is just about that time, I think. Friends, what do you think? Mekci, anything else that you think we need to add?
Hold on, sorry, I have to wait for a second. Nope, I'm good.
Well, that was good. I always enjoy these days. Always, always. And again, I'll say, like, I love the chat.
Mhm.
Just love the chat. No maps tonight. No, not tonight. Maybe Saturday when we do this again, we'll dig out some maps. Do map mania,
Check out some maps, some old school ones.
right?
Well, just for Blifton.
For Blifton.
My map time.
Map time. Mixing map time.
Guys, if you don't know this, Blifton's my best friend.
Oh my goodness. Well, guys, I think we're going to jump off. We'll probably head over to Discord.
Yep.
Anybody else that wants to join us over there, that would be awesome.
Fluffy, I'm going to leave it to you. Drop the link in the chat. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.
Thank you, Mekci.
It's chair.
Thank you. And chair. So yeah, thanks again, guys. Awesome to have you. I love the chat tonight. And I'll see what tomorrow is like as to whether or not I'm doing a video or a live, kind of see how it goes. But I do enjoy doing the lives. So yeah, awesome, guys. Thanks again, Mekci. Thank you, mods.
Pleasure.
Thank you for
me.
All righty.
Well, you're killing me. Bye, guys.